growing up, I used to talk really fast, and sometimes I still do. Yeah. Right, and sometimes I jumble my words. Sometimes, right. So sometimes I overemphasize my words or over enunciate it to a point where it's too choppy. It didn't seem natural on camera, right? So it can also hinder you two at the same time. So what this did bring out of me though was me understanding my authentic self, right? So what acting is, all acting is living your truth under an imaginary circumstance.
I'm just fitting. Yeah, I'm just fitting. I'm just fitting. This shit have been on my mind for quite some time. I gotta put the shit on the line. I'm just fitting. Yeah, I'm just fitting.
Welcome all the way to hell back to yet another episode of Dropping Dymes podcast. If it's your first time or your 135th or 179th
132
or
baby
216th time,
watch that shit over again.
My name is Byron.
I'm Wallace.
I'm Keon.
And this is the Dropping Dymes podcast.
Hey.
Keon is not Brandon. I'm sure y'all know that.
Brandon been in the gym.
He bulked up a little bit.
Brandon been in the gym.
Knocked his beard down a little bit.
Yeah.
He don't got his glasses or his nose ring.
Thank God.
Brandon got a nose ring?
Yeah, man. He got a nose ring.
He that guy.
I don't think he had a nose ring in the video that I saw.
Yeah,
He just kept his head turned that way. That's all it was.
He probably had a stud. He probably was studded up that
Don't
day.
call him a stud, man. No, man.
Man, as always, man, we appreciate you letting us get a little bit of your time, borrow a little bit of your space.
Just a little bit, man.
Just to come through, man, and do what we do, and that's just talk.
Hey.
I promise you.
Create the
You're going to
space.
enjoy this conversation today. We've been having a conversation with my man, and we have already been just talking.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a good one. Of course, swing by www.droppingdymes.com, Dymes with a Y.
With a Y.
Pick up some merch, shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies. We got the
still
crew
got
neck
the
joint.
toaster still coming
The
on.
toaster is still coming.
Yeah.
We're going to get that.
Yeah, we got the toaster still coming. We caught up in the tariffs right now.
See that on the price next time you look in there.
Yeah, man. So it's gonna go from the regular $40 for the toaster is probably gonna be like 85.
Yeah, you go 85. Like
$85 because
Thank
we
you,
got
President. It's all
taxes,
good.
baby.
Them tariffs.
Yeah, man, shit's real out here. Also, go check us out on social media, bro. We everywhere. We all on we on Instagram,
Facebook.
We on Facebook. We on the Tiki That Talk. Of course, if you're watching us right now, you do know that we're on YouTube. So subscribe.
Yeah, man.
Have your mama subscribe. If your grandmama got a Gmail account, have her log in and subscribe from there. She ain't got to watch. She probably will.
She could.
Yeah,
she
probably will.
Especially today.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a good conversation.
Grandma gonna like this one.
But of course, our names just about everywhere is going to be the same. Dropping Dymes podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, go subscribe, save some of these conversations, man. Check them out later. Share them, comment, hit that like button, hit that bell because we got other stuff coming. So man, come and as always, I ain't working on my language, but fuck with us. Y'all know who we are, man. Fuck with us.
Tell your friends to tell their friends about your friends, man.
So we can all be friends.
That's all it is,
man.
Amazing intro.
That's all it is, baby.
I just be trying to do what I do, man.
Hey, you do a good job
in this little portion of what we do. You know what I'm saying? But
hey, so let me go ahead and give our special guest an intro.
There you go.
Because you did such a good job on that. So it was probably 2016, maybe 2017, the winter, going to Christmas. And our family always goes to the movies during Christmas, man. And we pull up, it's probably 15 of us deep, just want to spend some time together. We sit down, and the first scene of this movie that my whole family pulls into, this man's face pops up. And it's crazy how, like, that's probably one of the most impactful moments I've had in a movie theater, I would say, in my entire life, because you never know what somebody's passion is, what somebody's working to behind the scenes, and how far the opportunities are going to present themselves. And just thinking back to when I met Keon at A&T, at North Carolina A&T State University. There you go, Aggie Pride. To seeing his development there, to then see him on the big screen with my family to come and gather in a spirit of togetherness it was amazing to see that person, and he represents every person, has the opportunity to grow when they decide to go and chase their passion, chase their interest, and just work at it. You don't have to be seen. Nobody has to know. And this young man, grown man now, has shown the evolution that we can do if we chase what we decide we want to go after. So I want to introduce y'all to my Aggie alum, great man, great father, Keon Mitchell.
How y'all doing, y'all?
Welcome, brother.
Oh yeah.
Welcome, brother. Welcome. Welcome, man. Hey, look, I always get it. It's two things. I'm gonna show you the last one at the end, but at the beginning, I'll let you can go ahead and tell the people what's up, however you want to.
Yeah. So like Wallace said, I'm Keon Mitchell, born and raised here in Atlanta, Georgia. He's talking about Almost Christmas.
Yep.
That was my very first movie. Stepping out of college after that ESPN commercial, which was lit, by the way.
Hey, you gotta show me that.
You ain't seen that?
I might go YouTube that thing.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, man. That joint lit. But yeah, went to A&T 2010 to 2014. Graduated with a computer science degree, which I still use to this day, and also pursuing my dream as an actor. It's crazy that you actually brought that up because I did not know that story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most
I
people
had no idea that you was gonna be on there, and you just popped up, and I was like, God damn, that's dope.
They hit a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, when I started that, like my journey, I don't know if you know Alicia Williams at A&T.
Nah.
But however, I used to talk to certain friends growing up and say, hey, I want to be an actor. They'd be like, nah, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was real professional, but his homies was, nah, nigga.
Yeah. They was like, nah, nigga, you the book smart cat. You on computer science. Like, nah, you. I was like, all right, cool. So they shut that down, right? Mm-hmm. And one of them at the time was actually one of my exes at the time. So
dream killers.
Going to A&T, man. Listen, going to A&T changed my damn life in so many ways, bro. Because of there, that's where I actually met a lot of friends of mine who are Aggies to this day, right? I had the right friends, right, to be able to come and say, you know what, Key, I think you should do it. I was sitting outside of Pride hallway, man. Really? I was outside Pride Hall on ATR, and I was talking to Alicia. And I was like, yo, man, Terrence J, he an actor and stuff like that, man. He Aggie, Aggie. Shout out to Musai, but shout out to Beta Epsilon, period, more. You know what I mean?
We'll talk about what that is.
We'll let that slide. But Terrence J, a guy I idolized at the time.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Aggie, educated, actor.
Yeah.
Host.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And Alicia was the first person I talked to at A&T, and I said, you know what? Yo, you think I could be an actor? You think I can really do this shit? And she looked at my eyes and said, nigga, hell yeah. Signed up for acting for non-acting majors with Professor Gregory Horton at A&T.
Yeah.
This is my second semester. So this second semester senior year. So I just got straight electives and senior project.
Yeah.
Aced out of my electives quick. I had like swimming, lifeguard. I was a lifeguard growing up. So that was
did you do the golf one?
No, I won't fuck with no golf.
I did that my last
year. Golf. But signed up for acting for non-acting majors. Took the class with a fellow Aggie of mine. Went in there, aced the class, enjoyed it. And after that, when the class was out, it was like towards the end of my time at T. Professor Horton was like, Keon, you should give this a shot for real. I'm like, what you mean?
Really?
I don't know shit about
acting,
chasing this. To be honest, I don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because automatically when I think and I dream, it's massive.
Right.
And
red carpets.
It's huge. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. College for me was huge. My family isn't a really bitch. Not a really bitch. My family isn't really a big college-based family. Like, so when people used to talk about like, oh, I want to go to Ohio. Oh, I want to go to Florida. I want to go to wherever. Yeah. I'm like, niggas, get your ass on the plane, take a flight, and go on vacation. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, they talking about
going to school,
Ohio State, right? Because I didn't even know what college.
Florida,
I didn't even know what college was until my second semester of high school. Yeah. My senior year. I didn't know what college was. Didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, nobody in your family are gone?
Not to my knowledge. My mom, she went to community college. Yeah. So for me, hearing everybody talk about,
the big schools,
I'm thinking like, just take a flight. That's why I was so behind on college sports. Right. College football was so big. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, I ended up taking the class. Professor Warren's like, you should try it. You should really do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll figure this out. I'm gonna go for it. Man, I was so scared, man. I was terrified, dog.
Yeah, man, it's just like with anything.
Yeah, I was terrified, man. You know, I graduated. You know, I'm not about to change my major. You know, God blessed me with an opportunity to become a junior business systems analyst for a major insurance company.
Yeah.
So that was bomb. So I started off with a dope salary and everything. So that was still working in my favor. And then moving to Raleigh, Durham.
Yeah.
Travis Jackson. I don't know if you know Travis Jackson. HBCU Pride Nation.
Yeah.
So I'm living in Raleigh up there. I'm working training and things like that for my job that's based in Charlotte. But I'm in Raleigh at the time. So while I'm out here, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sign up for some acting classes out here. He would literally call me like almost every other day.
Yeah.
And pray on the phone.
Really?
I pray that you that you drop your nuts, bro, and do this.
That's a special man right there.
Yeah, like he would literally be like, bro,
he is a special dude. Like, and honestly, in school, I think we came in the same time. Like, he was a little odd. Like, you look at it, like, yo, what's going on? But that man has a spirit and a passion for HBCU. Like, everything from school to graduating to into the world. Everything HBCU, that man has a passion, and I appreciate it. Just being able to see it as something out there.
Absolutely. He's definitely one of the key players in my life.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's dope.
For sure,
bro. I think to, like you said, like to call somebody every other day and pray with them, bro. Like
about daydream.
Yep. That's where I was headed. Yeah. Because like, you know, we talk about, like I said, and I had this conversation before, like to be the first person to do something, but to believe in somebody else's dream or their thought to a point where where you like, you know what, I believe in what you got going on so much. I believe in what you got going so much that I'm gonna call you every day and pray about your dream.
Right,
bro. That's
heavy.
Like, I don't even know if I like people that much.
That's beyond. That's beyond.
When I tell you, bro, it's special, dog.
That's special. Beyond. You know, and it's crazy. You know, because he changed my life by doing that.
Yeah.
Right. You know, made that decision. Did my first play.
Yeah. What was your first play?
It was called Moranian Brother Win.
Moranian Brother Win
is based on like the cakewalk that our ancestors used to do. Okay. And I was Brother Win like shit, man. I'm like a majestic wind dude or whatever or whatnot.
What the fuck is a cakewalk? I feel like y'all said it, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, you might want to Google that one. But all in all, it ran like 16 times. You know, I went there. God works in mysterious ways, man. I went there. 4 classes. They pulled me to this play because Brother Win just quit yesterday. So they had me be Brother Win. So I'm like, okay, so I'm about to go and get my feet wet. This and the third. You know, I remember when the K's popped up, Tiffany Carson popped up. I hope she still got that ticket, man. But I didn't tell nobody about it. But I told her and she popped up, man. Yeah. Supported it. But what that did was that got my feet wet and moving to Charlotte. You know, and once I got to Charlotte, I'm still going back and forth to A&T, seeing folk. You know, put up on one of our good friends, Monica, you know, talking to her about it and stuff like that. Like, oh, you think I should do it? You think I should do it? She said, yeah, go for it. I'm Googling stuff, found an agent, went in, auditioned. They signed me. You know, I didn't have a clue about any. I actually blew my entire monologue, but they signed me. I've been with them to this day. And everything that y'all see on TV.
Blew the monologue, and they just saw something inside.
Yeah, I asked them about that like 5 years later. I said, yo, why did y'all sign me? They was like, well, because you're green and you're willing to learn, you know. And of course, that's the baseline stuff. You know, you have a good look, you're willing to learn, things like that. Yeah. And everything from Lovecraft Country to Sisters to Almost Christmas to Marvel to everything that's on my resume, I think that to them.
Yeah,
you know,
they saw it.
Yeah, but
hey, look, and that's that AI that wouldn't see it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That's the AI that's not gonna pick it up. You know what I'm saying?
Some shit we talked about a little bit.
But they peeped that and they gave me that opportunity. The reason why it's crazy, the reason why I really started acting, because I wanted to do it when I was a kid.
You gotta let me ask you some questions, man. Hey, man,
my bad.
Why did you really want to start acting?
Oh, so like I was saying, you know what I mean? So like I was saying, I really started to do it because I really wanted to show Aggies that we can do this.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to show folk like, okay, something as big as this, go for it.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. I'm doing this for A&T. I'm doing this for Aggies. So I was constantly talking to people on the phone all the time. Like, hey, this is what I did. This is what I, you know, yada, 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 yada.
You know what's crazy? I went to the league. I went to Detroit. That was the same thing on my mindset.
So I was just about to say, like, that's your love for your shit, like, not your love for your university.
Yeah.
Gotta run deep for you to be like, I want to do this so that I can show other people there that they can do this.
I'm sitting in a hotel room, just like looking back at everybody on our roster that's coming in the next year. Like, if I get signed to this, nobody at A&T since we had been there had been signed to an NFL team. My mind was like, if I get signed, even if I don't even make it the rest of the season, it shows them that people from where we come from can make it on the biggest stage. We can compete at the biggest level.
That's intense.
That's crazy that is your mindset at the same time.
It's crazy because I went somewhere and niggas was like, hey, if you don't get signed, nigga, you dumb. if you don't get signed, nigga, you trash. You probably shouldn't have been here in the first place.
It's crazy. The same dream can look two different ways from different perspectives.
Like, that ain't my dream. Y'all can go get some more.
It's nothing but love at T. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's all it is. You know, me doing that was like, okay, if I can do this and show folks that they can really do this, it might inspire other people to just chase their dreams. I mean, I'd be acting, but just
go after it.
Yeah, computer science, theater, two different things.
You could do both.
You can do both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
hey, at the bottom though, like even before you got to A&T, when you stepped on campus, it's like you talking to what's her name?
Alicia.
You're talking to Alicia. This is before, like, you know what? I done acting class. I can get signed by this company. What was it like? I want to be an actor because I mean, growing up where I come from, the actor is the gay guy, the theatrical guy, the extra guy. What inside of you made it like, you know what? I want to be an actor when it may not be the thing that is promoted in the midst of our
culture, so to speak, right?
Well, it's crazy. We love them when they on the big screen, but when you in the bottom of it trying to figure it out.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't even necessarily even think about that component. To be honest with you, I didn't even know that was a stigma.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because again, I didn't take theater growing up. You know what I mean? But you know, I was in band though. I stepped in high school.
Yeah.
You know, I was a performer in its own regard.
Okay.
I think training day is what did it though. Like I think it was training day. I was like, who's this dude, mom? You know, when it came out, so Denzel Washington was always a figure in my life from that point of view, but I didn't have the confidence, I didn't have the self-esteem, I felt like I didn't have the look, or all those things. Like I didn't have that instilled in me, right? That's something that I actually found at T.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So me going from this particular, not that I was a bad person or anything like that. I was just a boy without a father who didn't have that extra push. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going through all those different ups and downs at A&T, by the time I became a senior, it's like it was low key black and white to a point to where I was like, okay,
no, for real,
straight
up. When he walked on campus, it's like, oh, this little ass dude. When he walked out of campus, oh, that's the guy right there,
dude. It was black and white,
completely different. And
it got me to a point for me in my mind where I said, I can finally ask this question. You think I can do this? And I asked the right people at the right time when I was supposed to ask.
Your circle matters.
And right after college, man, that following year, ESPN dropped. I didn't know how huge that was going to be.
Hey man, what's the name of that commercial?
Go to my website. It's Rahzeem.com. RAH.
I ain't know if you would open it. Where your middle name come from?
My mama made it up.
Made it up.
Yeah.
Bet.
She was like, Jaheim, ooh, Rahzeem.
Warrior. That's what you got to what does shit mean? Warrior.
Hey, bro, my dad got a name for me, and my whole life I thought it was like some Swahili word, some deep ass meaning.
It ain't shit.
My name is Mudabo. Why you laughing at me, man? But for real, I thought it was like some Swahili word. You never heard that shit before. I said, where you get that from? I just made it up one day.
If you want to see
I was drinking a Modelo.
Yeah, my mom, she made it up. Got creative. I've never met anybody named Rahzeem before.
Me neither. That's why I wanted to ask about it.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, so I made it a part of my son's middle name. And hopefully we can kind of keep that going.
Yeah.
If you hear Rahzeem, it's like hearing Carter or something. I don't know.
Just grow that shit.
Yeah.
Urbanize it.
Mm-hmm. Like urbanize it. Ain't urban enough.
Yeah.
They urban enough, man.
Motherfucker urban as hell.
That's from the motherland.
That's the South African urban and the Atlanta urban.
Facts.
I'll put an N on there.
Oh man.
Hey, so real quick, we talking about A&T since we're in that space, and we talked about people that are helping support you in your dream that you see it, you want to see as possible, and they kept reinforcement. How does brotherhood, or what has brotherhood done to help you, whether in the confidence factor, in the dream factor, in the societal relational factor? How has brotherhood affected you?
Man.
Or supported you? And this is when you can go ahead and bring in your boys.
Well, the frat for sure. So I'm an alpha. I'm a part of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. For those who know what alpha is, helped a lot, man. For me, meeting those group of brothers, whether it was my line, the guys that came after us, and of course the older brothers, that brought us through and stuff like that, definitely taught me so much in so many different ways, right? Understanding things from different points of view. Some things I won't speak about, but learning things from certain points of views definitely kind of how do I phrase this? It's a microcosm of life.
Yeah.
It's a microcosm of life. I kind of look at the gym like a microcosm of life.
How?
Consistency.
Just to make it plain for whoever's watching.
Consistency, right? Showing up every single day. Consistency under immense amount of pressure. How you gonna show up?
Yeah.
You gonna cave on that last set, or you gonna hit that 315?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what,
No, I'm not.
What we gonna do? Might hit 315 last week. Boy, I was geek.
That's what I said. You look a little different.
I mean, might get a jacket too.
Oh,
You know what I mean? But
it's just your head. That's all.
But no, man. But I look at it as a microcosm of life. You know what I mean? Like, I've had so much support from brothers. All the way back to like cats that I still talk to from like the 90s that came through.
Yeah.
At Epsilon. You know what I mean? Constantly pouring in, constantly reminding us of like, yeah, you've been through worse. You know what I mean? Or it could be worse.
Yeah.
Prior preparation always prevents piss poor performance.
From 5 p.m.
Every single time. And if nothing else taught me that shit, eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having that mindset, approaching everything with the prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. That's how I treat my auditions. That's how I treat life. That's how I treat my home. That's how I treat work.
Yeah.
That's how I treat the gym. My eating regimen, my diet. All those different things that play into that. So bruhs was definitely, even outside the frat, man, just the brotherhood that, bro, I've known you forever at this point, man. Just the brothers of different cats that I met at A&T growing up. I got childhood homies, Nesto, pulling them that I grew up with, that I can lean on, call, and talk to about certain things, whether it's fatherhood, whether it's just getting a different point of view that I'm just not gonna think of, just because of we were raised on the east side, right? Certain things that I'm not thinking about that they're thinking about, just to keep me on my toes, man. And honestly, brotherhood is one component, but I've had a lot of amazing women. Honestly, for real, I probably wouldn't even be the person I am today. Overall, majority, if it wasn't for the women that were in my life.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And I be trying to tell my mentees and stuff like that, man, like, you ain't gotta fuck every woman you see.
They got more value than just that.
They got more value than that. You ain't gotta fuck every woman you see.
He be trying to teach us all the time.
Like, no cap though. You gotta have sex with every woman that you see, man, because for real, you could be blocking some blessings and stuff like that just because of that particular engagement, man. And that's crazy. Who taught me that? One of my older brothers. I ain't gonna say his name just in case that means something. But one of my older brothers taught me that at the same time I was actually talking to Travis about acting in Raleigh. He said, bro, you ain't gotta have sex with every woman that you meet, man, and stuff like that. Like, you'd be surprised what you're missing out on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In life, because of the materialization of that. Or just that particular engagement. And to be honest, looking back on my life, it's plenty of relationships, that I could potentially saved or have grown in a different direction,
right.
Have we not attempted to date, not even necessarily have sex with.
Women are incubators? So an incubator is something that is like, if you put a baby in there who's premature, there's a form, a dream there, but then the incubator helps it grow into maturity to a space that it can stand on its own. Do you believe that?
I do, but not all of them though.
Yeah, for sure.
Straight up. You put the, it's like the Gucci Man in his wife story, man. He dropped them M's, he flipped it. You know what I mean? Like, I do believe that's a thing. Like me and my girl, for instance, I tell her my dreams.
Yeah.
She supports my dreams. she does nothing to hinder me from my dreams.
Does she do anything to help you get to them?
Yeah, man, she'll do my auditions and stuff like that. Matter of fact, she's actually planning a trip for us to go to New York to go see Othello, Denzel Washington on stage.
Yeah.
You know, Broadway.
Yeah.
You know, that's her. You know what I mean? That's her doing. I ain't know shit about Othello. You know, I wasn't on the internet looking for it. You know what I mean? Because it's so much information out there. You know, it was one of those things that just popped up on my radar. You know, that's something that she's making happen, and amongst other things and activities and just dope things that are going to be happening when we actually get there.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of that she's constructing. You know, so in a very positive way, you know, she's a good motivating factor to kind of keep me on my P's and Q's, because she's always throwing something in my face. Like, hey, did you try this? Or did you try that? Maybe you should try this. Or you should try that.
What does that do for you in your relationship? And I ask this question because some of the issues I've had in relationships in the past is like, I'm a big proponent of support and I guess adulation. Show me that you love what I'm doing. You're trying to help me push, even if sometimes it's conflicting to me just being in my state. It's like push me to be better. Yeah. And some of the issues I've had in the past, that person wouldn't do that, and I get complacent in my space, and now I'm frustrated at myself. But really, I'm like, damn, I wish I had a partner. Like, does that do anything in a different level for you?
It does. You know, I've been chasing. Well, it does. Short answer, yeah, it does, because having that support system there with you every single day, you know, one, it constantly gives you something to think about as to why you're doing it. And now we have a child too. Yeah. Right. We just got him an agent.
Really?
Yeah. So it's that. So as men, right, you know, we think about, I want my little dynasty. You understand what I'm saying? I want my dynasty. I want my shit. You know what I mean? So being able to have, you know, my baby come in and get an agent at, what, 8 months? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have dared to do that. You know what I mean?
Would you want him to be, I know it's a little different when you're a baby actor, but when, like, you're moving into a child actor, hearing all the things that have come out about child acting, and then the potential of, like, let's say you go through child acting and it doesn't pan out in as an adult, what do you do to your psyche? Would you support your child in moving like that?
I'm gonna support whatever he wants to do with guidance, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you know, I don't know everybody's story in Hollywood and things like that. Yeah. You know, people magically think because you're associated that you just know everything. No.
I think a lot of the shit that happened with a lot of those child actors, it was because their parents weren't as well versed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, because he is in it, like literally living it. I think it's a little bit easier to maneuver those spaces and realize, like, this ain't for this. I can't let my kid get into this. Like, this shit is wild. You know what I'm saying? So just in my mind, I don't know how.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean,
just the first thought, just us as sports.
All right, so that's what I was thinking.
Like, you like, ain't no fucking way I'm about to let this man train my kid, because he don't know what the fuck he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not about to take him to him. Or I see that he's really, really good at what he does, but he's taking advantage of the situations as well. You know what I'm saying? So I think just maneuvering through those spaces makes it a little bit easier. But I think that'll be any parent with something that they're a lane that they know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really important. It's important to me, like, first and foremost, with just, you know, just how the industry can be perceived, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it's extremely important to me, for one, you know, me as an actor who's still pursuing that I make sure that I keep God before it all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and thoroughly believe that, like it has been through storytelling that we just expanded on in a way, right? How it kind of happens. And as I'm still going through this, I'm able to bring him with me and be able to kind of segue a path for him while he's also creating his own identity at the same time. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's extremely, extremely important to me that, one, as a protective father first and foremost, but then two, at the same time, just, you know, also allow him to go through the hurdles and things that he also needs to go through, just to kind of learn and, you know, understand that adversity and things like that, but with limits, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
What kind of things do you get pulled? Because I'm thinking about a young man, a child growing up in not even necessarily being an actor, but it being in his space. What kind of things or values did it pull out of you? Because let's say you weren't as because one thing I have trouble with is I don't enunciate. And this is something small. I imagine acting forces you to enunciate. Like, what kind of things does acting pull out of you as a person?
Enunciation is one of them. You know, me being from Atlanta, sometimes my accent definitely that shit definitely kick in. You know what I mean? It definitely kicks in. But at the same time, the beauty of it is it's art. Yeah. So some roles don't necessarily require full-fledged enunciation. For instance, I got to a point because growing up, I used to talk really fast, and sometimes I still do. Yeah. Right, and sometimes I jumble my words. Sometimes, right. So sometimes I overemphasize my words or over-enunciate it to a point to where it's too choppy. It didn't seem natural on camera, right? So it can also hinder you two at the same time. So what this did bring out of me, though, was me understanding my authentic self, right? So what acting is, all acting is living your truth under an imaginary circumstance.
I would never have looked at acting like that. I always picture acting as you are putting a facade, a fake, being able to control yourself to be able to put whatever the fake is today.
There's character development for sure. You have your character roles. You got people that are in character lanes, like your Samuels, right? He's in a character lane, right? But then you have certain individuals, right? That may not necessarily jump into a role like Joker. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's a different stretch. There's different components of acting, right? There's character development. There's character classes that kind of teaches, there's different things that I've taken that kind of help you segue into different lanes and things like that. Yeah. But all it is literally living your truth under an imaginary circumstance. My coach at the time, who he was taught by Sandy, but his name is Meisner. So Stanford Meisner, who created the Meisner technique. Okay. Right. So Kelly was a first generation Meisner student. He taught me. Right. So theoretically speaking, it kind of makes me a second generation Meisner student, which is lit. You connect. Which is lit. So let's bring that back. But anyhow, I studied with him for about maybe 2.5 or about 3 years. He would always ask us in class, "Hey, take that back. That's bullshit." I like that. That's bullshit. Yeah. What would you do in this situation? How would Keon Rahzeem Mitchell respond in this situation? Do you respond? It's way more captivating when you're living your truth versus trying to create something that's not necessarily authentic to you. Yeah. Hence why you would get 2 different versions of Training Day. Yeah. If Samuel L. Jackson did it versus Denzel Washington do it. Right. Both, I'm sure, would have been great performances. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it allowed me to bring more of my authentic self, not just to acting, but to life. Yeah. Right. It sucks when you have to go to set. You know, been through all this shit all week. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Not knowing how to let shit go. Right. Arguing with somebody. Your boss is ticking you off. Your girl getting on your nerves. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You done lost a pair of J's. Whatever the hell the situation is, man. You pissed. Now you got to go to work or go to set and try to figure that out. Like how to get out of that to live into that. And it does require you to kind of have an on-off switch. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But I've learned so much more about myself being an actor. I learned, even through therapy too, right? Therapy coupled with acting. Yeah. I learned a lot about myself, triggers, emotional triggers, which is extremely important in acting as well. We do something called emotional recall. It works sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it takes it too far, right? Depending on what the role requires, right? Taught me that. So definitely helped with my speech, especially during presentations at work and things like that. My authentic self.
We got you more in touch with your emotions.
Oh, for sure. And it's crazy because I consider myself an emotional person. I definitely consider myself
before I
was an actor. Yeah. Right. Good thing and bad thing. Yeah, right. For sure. Good thing and bad. Double-edged sword. Double-edged sword like shit. Good thing and bad thing. So I always kind of had a good I don't want to say understanding of my emotions, but I always knew that I was an emotional cat.
You felt your feel. You feel your feels.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And unfortunately, in some cases, I'll act on those things, on those feelings sometimes. So on the acting space, that's what you want, right? That's what you want. You felt something, you can do it. You know what I mean? That right there takes a scene to a whole other level. You know what I'm saying? Like when you really just taking it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you allow them to feel it. But of course, in life, you still got to kind of have that emotional maturity and intelligence and control, especially on the impulse side. Especially as man when you're leading a family and trying to be a leader at work and in your community.
You have trouble turning that switch off, like going from. I imagine it's easier going from work and life to going on set and like I'm about to do my thing, but then from whatever getting in contact, that emotional connection you have to be on set. then transitioning back into the real world, do you have trouble turning that switch off? At times?
No, I don't.
Good.
But I will say though, in a weird way, I don't necessarily always turn it off. And it's not because I'm either in set or not on set. You know, earlier we kind of talked amongst ourselves about being defensive and cautious and things like that, mm-hmm. right? You know, I used to be a person that would not speak how you felt.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say what's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But it got to a point to where, you know, too many stones just hit me in the face, man. And I became just utterly truthful. Yeah, I would say what's on my mind. Right. You know, I would say what's on my heart sometimes, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that in every particular situation, I'm just out here just, you know, shutting it down like, nah, just firing off like, nah, you know what I mean? But if the situation warranted, I'm going to tell you, and it's going to be emotionally articulate.
Did you have issues when you first started doing that? Like, because to me, there's a sweet spot in anything. Mm-hmm. My issue was I wouldn't say anything, and then when it came out, it was all the way there.
Yeah.
And when I tried to start doing it consistently, all I knew was how to get out was all the way there. Yeah. But there's a sweet spot to being able to get it out articulately, under control, but you understand the meaning behind it.
Yeah, one of my issues that I had while I did learn in therapy was that, you know, just like most men, we hold it in, and by the time it's time for that shit to come out, always you slide out. You slide 50 deep. You know what I'm saying? Like you just go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, it'll come out. So one thing I definitely learned to do was just understand my triggers. Understand like, hey, but your chest getting kind of tight, Key.
Yeah.
Take some steps back from it. Let it go.
Or
also too.
Or go into it.
Controlled though. Controlled. But at the same time, everybody isn't always receptive. Sometimes
it don't even matter, man.
Sometimes it doesn't matter, but sometimes, trust me, Wallace, sometimes that shit does matter, man.
And when I say it don't matter, it always matters to me how it comes out. But sometimes it don't matter that it comes out. It has to come out.
I mean, listen, sometimes you can talk to people the sweetest way, they don't understand that shit, and they gonna still feel some kind of way. Then depending on how that person's gonna respond, or you got some shit going on.
I see people always think when I say you gotta, I guess, temper how you say it, meaning like I gotta soften it. No, I can come to you directly, but it don't have to be, man, fuck you, dog. It could be, hey, bro, you really, bro, in the gym. I told these boys, this dude that I knew in high school came by. We know each other. I didn't like him in high school, but he came by, hit me on the top of my head. I'm bald headed, and that shit don't feel good. Yeah. I sat in the corner for about 10 minutes. Like, bro, I cannot walk out of this gym without saying something. But I couldn't walk over there and say, hey, bro, don't fucking touch me ever again in your fucking life.
For sure.
Or I did like what I did. Hey, bro, let me holler at you real quick. I don't appreciate you touching the top of my head. I know it's something small, but for me, that ain't the way to go.
Yeah.
And it gets the point across, but it ain't necessarily firing off. And it ain't soft either.
Yeah, facts. It's stern. You standing 10 toes down.
So I think it goes into what he was saying though, because you have to take that step back.
For sure.
It's still like I was saying, like think this through. Yeah. Right? Like, do I go and fire off? And then what's the next step after I fire off? Like he say some slick shit, am I ready to go at his chin? Or do I take the 10 minutes,
process it? What's the best way to handle this? What's the best way to manage this?
And then sometimes it is to leave it alone. Yeah. But sometimes, that's why I say sometimes you gotta.
I had to learn that through some years of just, again, understanding myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And why I did it.
Yeah.
You know, my therapist asked me something crazy. Like I can get some insight into my therapy. I'm probably say a lot of stuff that I wouldn't even tell most people, but like one thing my therapist asked me, he said, "Yo, Keon, like who you trying to prove a point to? Like, do you feel yourself constantly trying to prove a point?" Right? The answer was actually yeah. But it wasn't to people; it was to myself.
Yeah.
Yep. Right? It was to myself. You know, people didn't know when I was in 6th grade I got bullied. People don't know half of the stuff. Thank God. You know what I mean? That I've been through with people that were like family to me that make me say I'm not having that shit. Because I've also almost lost my life a few times, almost been reprimanded legally a few times, trying to save people that would not do the same thing for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like crazy shit, man.
Yeah.
So for me, it became so proving that point to myself that hey, I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm gonna say what I need to say. You ain't gotta like it, and on top of that, we don't even have to be cool when this shit is over with. Because for me, if I get to a point where I feel like I legit have to, people know what the fuck they doing. So if I get to a point where I legit gotta say something to you, you can, and it's, especially if it's like, you know, something disrespectful, something that's completely just crosses the line altogether. So now, depending on the situation, I got to be the one that's responsible for diplomacy.
Right. No.
So the only thing I want to throw in there is because some people, and I'm dealing with somebody at work right now, it's just because of her background. And it's strictly because of her background. The way she proceeds with me and other people that I see her interact with is just because of where she came from. Right. And she doesn't know that it feels this kind of way when she's coming at people, but because she grew up in this space, in a different state, in a different town, this is how we communicate. So I put it on you. It's just normal. So it's so much value in I guess approaching the circumstance, the situation, because sometimes people don't know that.
I completely, and that's what I learned, because you know, growing up, especially now having a son, you know, just teaching that, like, hey, every situation doesn't warrant this level of attitude, energy that you're giving it. You know, find a productive, progressive way, you know, to get your point across. You know, like that's something I'm always working on with. Whether I feel like some days I have a handle on it, sometimes I may not. You know, at the end of the day, we're all human. You know, I think something for me that I learned to really help me is understanding that forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation.
Words.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, you fucked up. And we can acknowledge that and I forgive you, but we can no longer move forward.
Right.
You know, a big part of this as well, too, is that people just think that soul ties are sexual. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, and that was a major part of my therapy, was understanding, like, okay, what environments am I always in that's making me feel like this? You know, which homie is making me feel like this? Which homegirl is making me feel like this? Is my relationship making me feel like this? And having the courage, right? To say something about it in an authentic, healthy manner, or having the courage as a man to say, you know what? I gotta remove myself from this, because right now it's making me feel like this, which is causing me to respond like this. Right? I don't think that flaws are really always bad. I think flaws are subjective to people's points of views and their opinions.
I think, especially I think I said this before. Like, our flaws are usually what, like, especially as we get older, I think our flaws are what draws people to us. Like, cause when you was a kid, the thing that people saw as the joking points about you, that was funny for the kids.
Yeah, I had both teeth.
I had both teeth. And as adults, it becomes, I don't want to say a talking point, but it becomes the things that separate you from other people. But it usually is what draws people to you.
I need you to clarify that, because I'm thinking we had a little quick talk last week about, like, somebody just fat. Like, that's a flaw, but why would that draw me to what they got going on?
Bro, it's people. It's a There's a whole group of people out here with fetishes about big people. No, nigga, I'm being for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like,
you open my eyes, dog.
No, like, all right. The dark skinned person. When we were younger, it was like, man, you black African, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? That was the name call, right? Yeah. So then when you get older, then you like, all it takes is one person to be like, you so chocolate and fine. I love that. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same thing that was a flaw for you as a kid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It is, bro, when you become okay with who you are and what you're dealing with about yourself, it makes it easy for everybody else to see that same beauty in whatever it is.
Let me add this to it: the right people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you say everybody, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna like that. But you are, the right people will go and support you, and like the right people were there to support you, to say, yeah, bro, you can do that shit. Because you could have been around the wrong people when we was in high school. Like, man, that fucking shit is stupid.
So speaking on that, I know we talked about like your Aggie family supporting you. Like, how was your actual family? Like, how were they supportive in it? Because I know, because I can speak to mine.
Let's go now.
I can speak to mine. I know my family was like, "Boy, that shit's stupid. You need to just go get you. You know what I'm saying? Do X, Y, Z." So was your family as supportive as your friends or your Aggie family?
I don't even have an answer for you, because there is no answer. Because I don't really, me and my family, we are not like that. At least from where me and my mother sit.
Okay.
Right. So, at one point they could be supporting from afar. I'm unsure. I'm not really close to my family. Right. The closest family members that I did have passed away. Uncle Richard, Auntie Jackie, Tanisha, they're gone. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, even on my dad's side, so 95% of people that know me don't even know that I'm Nigerian. I couldn't tell you anything about
That's
that side.
Gotcha.
They
be scamming though.
I heard.
He probably
he can either confirm or deny.
They probably
already rich.
They got the city
He can
on
never
lock,
confirm or
boy.
deny.
I heard it's the same 5 Nigerians hitting everything, man, and I'm not one of them.
Okay, all right. Good to know. Disclaimer.
Yeah, but I ain't one of them. You know what I mean? Like, just so you know, but
This was getting too deep. And I was like, hey, you a Nigerian boy? You about to send me an email and told me to click here.
Boy, that's funny as hell, little joke. But nah, we not. I couldn't even sit up and tell you that, and I have family like that. My God family, on the other hand, solid. I love them to death, man. The Stewarts, just that entire family, definitely show love and support. However, just in regards to my immediate family, like my family, I don't really have that. So
How that make you feel? Because you see everybody, you see people out in the world, they have their family supporting them at their events and the little shit. You on the fucking big screen and you ain't got that. Well, how did that make you feel, or does it make you feel?
At first, I didn't really think too much of it because we did a red carpet situation almost Christmas at Studio Movie Grill. Flooded that joint, man. Hella Aggie showed up, man.
I ain't know about it, bro.
It was love.
Yeah.
You should have been there, bro.
Yeah, I ain't know.
Ricky was out there.
I might not should have been there.
Yeah. You should,
stay home.
Nah, you should stay home for that one, man. Depending on what you had going on.
Yeah.
But
I'm locked down.
yeah, you stay out of that.
Yeah.
But that was 2016.
Yeah, still.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But nah, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it sucks. It hurts sometimes because that's a void that you'll never have. I went to my brother's wedding on the Nigerian side. I got 2 older brothers and an older sister. Went to my brother's wedding. We kind of had a little discrepancy and stuff like that at the wedding. Nothing that he did. But for me, it was a harsh reality because that was my first time seeing my dad in forever,
Really?
right? And just vulnerably speaking, when I was at T, my mom had called me and she was like, "Hey, I called your dad or whatever, to see kind of help, put you through school and stuff like that." And he pretty much told her he's a grown ass man, he can call me. My dad has never bought me anything ever except for a duffel bag, which I still have in the attic of our house. It was durable as hell. That shit still look brand new. Ain't gonna hold.
Hey, I want to know what your therapist says about you keeping that duffel bag in the attic.
I don't know. I might need to.
Here we go.
That could probably go a few different ways.
I know. I want to hear what she say.
I had made a phone call to him and said, pretty much, how you doing and stuff like that. This goes back to how you say shit, right? But no, I called him. I said, "Hey man, hope all is well and stuff like that. You good? How's your health? Great." My mama just called me and told me, I was in the village making this phone call. I said, my mama just called me and told me that you kind of hung up on her or something like that. And he ended up hanging up on me. And I ended up telling him, I said, because in that call, I pretty much kind of said "Hey man, I said my 2 cents, in regards to she don't deserve that because it's not like you doing anything, but respectfully, right? Yeah. He ended up hanging up. He said, my kids don't talk to me like this. I'm like, you do know that I'm one of them, right? You know what I'm saying?
And I'm actually talking to you like this.
Yeah, this is a thing right now, man, because of that particular reason. He ended up hanging up on me after that. We lost touch for a very long time, and the first time I saw him was at that wedding. Because on that call, which is something I regret biblically, but on that call, I told him, yo, that's, Like next time you do that, like we gonna have a serious issue.
Right. Because you said I'm a man, so now I'm gonna approach you
You know
like
what I mean?
that.
So I'm gonna approach you like that because now you hanging up on me for you disrespecting and hanging up on my mom.
Right.
When she's calling you, asking you for help for things that you ain't on, that you ain't really, that you don't have no kind of interest in, to be honest with you. And the thing is, at that time, I didn't feel like I had any. I felt like I wasn't angry with him. You know what I mean? I wasn't mad. I was just like, bro, you just tried it, bro. You know what I mean? So like so all in all, first time seeing him was at my brother's wedding.
Yeah.
And that's when it hit the fan for me. The first question my therapist asked me, going on 6 or 7 years ago, was, what's your relationship like with your dad? I didn't think nothing of that question. That's a big ass question.
It's loaded. Yeah, it's loaded.
And I didn't know how loaded it was until I feel like I hit my first midlife crisis at the age of 29. Going into 30.
What triggered that? If you open to it.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you. So before that, the wedding, why I was so tight at the wedding was because I got to the wedding and it was deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
Family.
Nigerian wedding. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I couldn't tell you who was my cousins.
Right.
I couldn't tell you who was the family friends.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you this the cousin that was bought the third nigga.
Man, so you
know what I mean? I couldn't tell
you had to tread lightly on trying to pick somebody
else. Who
else.
I was talking to, man, but my dad did something to me that really, honestly, that's that whole setting along this. I just seen the Nigerian culture, especially at a wedding. You know, Nigerian weddings are lit.
Yeah, them shits be. Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, for me, I just literally felt like a whole half of my heart just got ripped out.
Yeah.
Cause it's like I can't identify with none of this shit.
Yeah.
And it's so dope.
And it's crazy because I could have been a part of it, but you decided that I wouldn't.
You made a decision. So as I'm going around, he's introducing me to people. This is this is my son. Yeah. You know, he's an actor. All that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
stop.
bro,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
kind of like, get off me. You know what I mean? First, like, get off me. But then two, one of the women, I don't know who these women are, said, "Oh, this is the son that you had the baby by from the lady in the States." I'm like, the lady in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just roared me off the road. So I ended up going downstairs to the basement of the hotel where we was at, and I'm not gonna lie, I raged out.
Yeah.
Raged out. Someone out here with the wires and the cement was raging out because I just did not know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
My brother came down. Nosa, he's big. He's like 4 times my size. He's huge.
That's the one that was getting married?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're like pretty much twins almost. Right?
About the same age.
He's 40. He's 10 years older than me.
Oh. How y'all twins?
12 years older than me.
How you twins?
We look alike.
Okay, all right, bet.
Oh my God, man. It's wild.
Yeah, bro, man. Put that shit down, man.
It's wild. Man. Yeah.
But yeah,
Y'all just let that nigga go sometimes.
Man, it's retarded, man. You know what I mean?
That time.
But yeah, I raged out down there, man. My brother ended up coming down or whatever. He ended up kind of coming at me like left field on some like, what are you doing? Like pretty much not allowing me the space that I needed to kind of do that.
Yeah.
Because he already got through that. He already forgiven him.
Yeah.
In a way, they've already reconciled. Me, I'm kind of like, you know what, to be honest with you, man, you already kind of been through that shit around this same age with him. Now it's my goal, but I got to figure out a way to do this.
Right.
And this is why what you said about how you communicate that is important. Right? Raging out, I almost kind of came at his neck about it because I'm like, to be honest with you, my G, you know, you stayed by
you a part of it.
You stayed by Six Flags, nigga.
Yeah.
I stayed by going to Glide on the east side.
Yeah.
That's about a 40-minute drive.
Yeah.
I can count on both hands how many times I've seen you, and you 12 years older than me.
Yeah.
Tread lightly.
Yeah. Right.
This is your day.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. So we talk about the family thing for me again. It's kind of like it's such a thin line. It's such a thin layer for me. You know what I mean? You know, that right there, when we talk about family overall, that right there is what broke my heart.
This how I'm feeling inside. Every line that I ride, I just hope I don't cry. I'm just venting. Yeah, I'm just venting.
Goosebumps, man. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. The air, the noise, the smell of sweat, the sound of cleats on concrete.
A minute ago, I was just a student. But now, with those lights are on, my family, my school, my city, here, for me. Looking my brothers in the eyes, telling them, man, I believe in you. I'll sweat for you. I'll bleed for you. It's our time. I'm tired of hearing they did this.
Jameis Winston in the end zone.
They did that.
The handoff, and there's Clowney. Wow.
Remember so-and-so?
Tebow spins in with the second effort.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. It's now or never. We the future. Forget last season. Who's next?